1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in a Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters gon' move, whatever click you choose.
Say, what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to Life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down! Now, for those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. Yeah, that's me gassing right there on that intro. And if you want to get that song, it's available on a 10-song EP that you can get straight from me and straight from me only by digital download. Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle me $20, and I'm going to get it to you ASAP. If you're interested, hit me up on my email, 16tolifemusic@gmail.com. Now let's hop right up into this video. Now, I'm going to keep it 100, man. I don't necessarily know about y'all, but I'm a little over this Tory thing, right? It's dragging out, it's going on and on. So after this video right here, unless there's some extremely explosive news, this will probably be the last video that I make concerning this Tory Lanez thing. With the exception of I may do an interview on an individual who I was locked up with, who happens to, I believe, is the founder of a group called Unite the People. That's an organization that Tory Lanez is aligned with. And what it does in a nutshell is it helped freeze the wrongly convicted. Now, one thing that really trips me out is I don't understand why individuals will watch the prison genre, watch these prison stories, if you cannot watch without getting into your feelings. Prison still is how it is, and it was how it was. So if you happen to watch a story one day and a particular race that you are a part of got the short end of a stick in a riot 15, 25 years ago, I mean, I don't necessarily understand what's to get all emotional about, because prison is how it is. So with all that being said, let's move forward, man. So what I'm talking about today is there was a phone call made of a dude who claimed to be right there, claimed to be an eyewitness to the Tory Lanez stabbing, right? So I'm going to play that for you guys, let you guys check it out. Hopefully I can turn it up and make it a little louder so you guys can hear it better. And after that, we're going to talk about that a little bit. So here goes the phone call right here.
Prepaid call from
Ephraim Byers.
an incarcerated individual at the California Correctional Institution, Tehachapi, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Alright, you hear me? So look, this is what really happened, right? So basically, we wake up early in the morning, right? For bloodline, damn, my door opens, right? And I walk out, and the homie's right there standing there, and he calls me over, and he's like, Savage, come here. And I'm like, what's up? And he's like, bro, I'm about to get this nigga. And I was like, who? He's like, Tory. I was like, for what? And he's like, this boy keeps on talking shit. And I already told him, I don't play like that, bro. I'm going to get you if you don't talking shit. So then I was like, all right, don't trip. I'm right here. So then all of a sudden, that fool's door opens, that fool comes out. And then that fool runs up on him, and that fool starts stabbing that fool. But you can just tell that fool got his lungs punctured, because when he was laying on the ground, he's right there yelling, help, please, stop, help. And you can just hear him breathing like, you see him coughing up blood and some more shit. But it's just crazy, all these little stories going around that aren't even true, talking about there's going to be retaliation and some more shit, because if there was retaliation, it would have happened right there, you know what I'm saying? One of the blacks did try to hop up, and I told him, bro, you better sit down, bro, because if you hop up and get involved, you all know all the messages are going to jump, and it's going to be bad for you, bro. And you don't owe no money. How does a millionaire owe money in prison? That's bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And there was no visits that day, so how the fuck is there going to be some shit visit? I mean, I don't know if that shit really happened, but I know that day, the homie didn't tell me nothing about this boy was talking to my bitch, or he got in my bitch at visits, none of that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what really happened. You feel me? I was right there. I'm a porter. I had to clean up his blood right there, mopping up all that fool's blood. I thought that fool died, but I guess not. But it's just crazy, all these little crazy-ass stories that are going around that aren't even true. But that's really what happened from someone that was right there seeing the whole shit, watched it happen. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Now, a lot of times when I listen to an individual telling any story, and especially a prison story, what I like to look for and listen to is the individual who's telling the story, his nature of the way he tells the story. Does he seem disgruntled? Does he seem like he has an axe to grind? Does it seem like he's hateful? Or is he just relaying the story as the story occurred to him in his mind? And so when I listen to this individual on this phone call, I listened to it several times. And in my mind, this is how I'm perceiving it. I don't know about you guys, but in my mind, this dude was just telling a story. He wasn't angry about anything. He wasn't taking sides. He just told the story as the story happened. If the story happened the way he said it did, then yeah, the blacks need to get cracking. And I'm going to tell you why, because like I said earlier, prison is how prison is, right? And once again, I'm going to say that this is on a yard that's not a main line. I don't know what type of yard this is. I definitely do not believe it is a main line, right? And the reason why I feel that the blacks need to take off and get cracking is because prison is a place that has protocols and it has a way to go about doing prison time. Now, you hear during the phone call, the dude say, when he asked the individual who attacked Tory Lanez, hey man, what's up? Why are you doing it? He said, because basically the fool won't stop talking mess. So now let me tell you guys how the protocols and the procedure of something like that would have went back when I was doing time, right? So in the event you had a individual from another race clowning, horseplaying, being disrespectful, the dude asked him to stop and it continued or whatever, he then would have went and got it a representative or someone who was black and said, hey man, look, your homie is getting at me. He's being foul. He's being disrespectful. And I'm asking the dude to stop, man, because I don't want it to get out of line or something along those lines. So then eventually you're going to have somebody black go talk to Tory or whoever the individual is involved in this disagreement. They're going to get both sides of the story and they're going to move forward and proceed from there. After the story comes out, after hearing both sides and after talking to Tory or whoever the individual is, the blacks may decide that, okay, this dude wasn't being disrespectful. These dudes was having a mutual conversation. They was clowning and one dude got a little offended. And that's why you have certain checks and balances and the process of going to speak to someone's people, because it's not always left and said to one man's word or one man's perception of what happened, right? So in this dude's mind, Tory Lanez was disrespecting him, right? And so he just became then judge, jury, and executioner. And so if you allow people to do that to your people in prison, then you are possibly allowing yourself to be attacked, victimized, assaulted, stabbed, basically anytime a person feels like it, right? Anytime a person in his mind feels, okay, well, you know what? This dude did something that I don't like. He had his music a little too loud. He slams his cell door too loud when he closes his cell, or any little thing that may upset him. If any group or any person in prison gets into the habit of allowing themselves to be attacked and victimized at another person's will, then you're definitely not gonna last long, right? Even if there's only 4 blacks in the entire prison and you're going up against 300 other dudes, sometimes you just got to put a plan together. You got to strap up. You got to take off and go to war just to show them that, hey, we not just to be bullied. We not just to be pushed around, so on and so forth, right? Now, keeping it 100, in the course of that conversation, when the dude who was making the phone call said that the dude who told Tory already, hey, man, if you keep playing, I'm going to get you. At that point, to be honest, Tory was supposed to, in the words of Chances, make a preemptive strike. Because when someone threatens to bring bodily harm to you anywhere, and especially in prison, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to just sit around and wait for this dude to attack you? Wait to see if this dude is just blowing off hot air? Of course not. And of course, we got to keep in mind that this dude stabbed Tory Lanez 14 times, collapsed 2 of his lungs, and so he obviously was intending to hurt this dude and do an extreme amount of violence. In my opinion, the only thing that stopped Tory Lanez from being killed was this dude's knife was not a killing machine. Whatever type of knife he had was not one of them knives that will take your life or take your breath, because I've seen some knives where it definitely looked like if a person stabbed you one time, even in the toenail, you was going to be dead. You guys, if you have not been to prison, you have no idea of some of the vicious knives that can be made in prison, man. Honestly, I have seen some knives sometimes on certain yards that just made me feel like I have to get a knife, just because to know that there are knives like that floating around on the yard and I don't have one is a very scary situation. Also, to me, in my mind, another thing that was very important is you hear the dude say that when the dude was stabbing Tory Lanez, you had another black individual who was right there, and he I guess made some type of move like he was going to get up, and he told him, hey man, listen, sit down, man, because if you jump up and get involved, then you know all the Mexicans are going to get involved and it's going to be bad for you. So basically what he was saying is, despite what's going on, the Mexicans are going to back that dude's play. So his words, of course, say and they indicate that it's not just a one-on-one thing, and that it is a racial thing at the end of the day, because they're going to make it racial if another black gets involved, even without knowing who's right or who's wrong in that situation. So despite what type of yard that is, his words are saying that the Mexicans still have some semblance of unity and racial togetherness on that yard. The blacks are supposed to get together and they're supposed to go on a violent offensive. And once again, I'm saying all this and considering what the dude said on the phone call, this alleged eyewitness, is true. So if what he says is true, then regardless of where they're at, regardless of what type of yard they're on, yes, the blacks are definitely supposed to go and get some get back ASAP. And once again, let me reiterate one last time. No, I'm not pushing for violence, man. I'm just talking about how life goes behind those walls. Prison is a very different subculture, man. Prison has its own identity and it has its own happenings and going-ons, man. Prison also is a place where at times diplomacy, words, and rhetoric is just not enough to make your point, because at the end of the day, everybody in prison and out of prison respects violence. Now, let's just say, for instance, that this dude, Santino Casillo, let's just say that he came and he spoke to the blacks. He spoke to the blacks. He let them know what is going on. He gave them an opportunity to handle the situation. He relayed his version of the events to these individuals, and then they went and talked to Tory Lanez, and then for whatever reason, the matter was not stopped. Then if he were to go and do that, after he spoke to them and then they went and spoke to Tory and the disrespect continued, yes, by prison protocol and standards, he had every right to go handle his business and do as he felt was necessary for the disrespect to stop, because obviously Tory wasn't respecting his requests. But if those protocols and procedures wasn't followed, and he did not give the blacks the courtesy of a heads up conversation and got at them like, hey man, Tory is down here disrespecting me in a way that I don't see is cool. And then if nothing was done, handle your business. But in his mind, if he happens to decide just one day to pop out and assault somebody black, and obviously he hadn't even told anyone, because according to the dude who made the call, he just told him right then on the spot, like, hey man, I'm just to get Tory. And so it seems like to me by that phone conversation that this Santino dude, he didn't tell anybody, because he just bounced out of his cell, according to the dude who made the call, called him, said, hey man, I'm just to get Tory. So it sounded like he was also surprised by that. But upon learning that he was going to get Tory, he didn't try to talk him down. What did he do? He supported his people. He said, okay, basically, yeah, I'm going to post up right here, handle your business. Basically saying that I'm going to post up here, and if somebody happens to get involved, then, I got your back. And as I said earlier, Just because the dude who did the stabbing felt disrespected does not necessarily mean that he was disrespected. And that's why you go talk to other people. You give more people than just yourself a chance to get involved and kind of decide who was at fault and what needs to be handled from there. You know, it's not cool when you're in prison and you riding with a collective to just take the decision into your hand on what needs to be handled, especially when it applies to another race. So for the last time, let's be clear. I'm not saying the blacks need to go and attack them because they are Mexicans. What I'm saying is this here. Anytime you push with a collective in prison and someone outside that collective attacks a member of your collective, regardless of who they are, retaliation is a must. Anyway, y'all already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.
I done lost too many homies from the park in my lifetime. Look at my heart, it ain't no telling what you might find. The streets turned it cold and dark as the nighttime. I stay strapped, get at me like a mark. I'm a light mind, push the cold line for the set, yeah, that's straight facts. Now I'm wise and living with regrets, and I hate that. The judge gave me 16 to life, cause I ate that. I walked off 24 flat and came straight back, right to the turf where some swear it ain't safe at. Raised up in church, but this Glock is where my faith at. I really played ball, Earl Walton, Chris Meshack, Don Leary, K-Love, you know I gotta say black. I never made the pack train by Cole Smith. I was on George selling crack, stacking cheese on the dope ship. Sawed-off gauge up my sleeve made my coat stiff. Like Emery or Jimmy Lee, I was quick to smoke shit, but I ain't talking dope, bitch. Time wasn't scaring me. Cross the line, I'ma pop the 9, that's a guarantee. My homies was dying, they never gave me therapy. It fucked up my mind, and I'm still praying for clarity. They locking up our kind, I don't like the disparity. They'll give a nigga life before they give a nigga charity. The streets was my wife though, I begged the hoe to marry me. And now I'm dedicated in this life until they bury me. Reality, I wish I'd never spent a day in it. I'd advise all my young homies not to play in it. Promise when they put you in that dirt, you gon' stay in it. Pastor Thomas opened up the church, I need to pray in it. His mama dropped enough tears to fill a coffee cup. Started to shout and passed out when his coffin shut. She going crazy cause her baby stuck. She prayed to God all her life and now she feel he never gave a fuck. His mama dropped enough tears to fill a coffee cup. Started to shout and passed out when his coffin shut. She going crazy cause her baby stuck. She prayed to God all her life and now she feel he never gave a fuck. My little homie didn't get the message, now his family stressing in the church pews. Tears dropping on their dresses and their church shoes. Asking God to bless us, please, and help us through this worst news. His mama got weak in the knees when she saw his hearse move. She hurt and confused, her son Nate was only 17. Now she's struggling with her faith, wondering what do heaven mean. Every night in every dream, she see him in the graveyard. The pain hurt her deep, she losing sleep and make her days hard. Can't stop her tears, her thoughts got suicidal fast. Went to church for 30 years and threw her Bible in the trash. Every day she asked if Christ really exists, then why he let him do her baby like this? She screaming damn damn with closed tight fists like she Florida Evans. Middle fingers pointed toward the heavens. She said fuck God, the church, and the reverend, cause her soul was hurt. Her baby rotting in that hole in the dirt. I saw my homies hold their funerals at the church. We used to singing in the angel choir. I swear it hurts and I'm just praying that eternal fire. Ain't they destiny? Lord knows I'd be a liar if I said this life ain't got the best of me. And I ain't tired seeing my homies expire dying young at a rapid rate. I went to jail, caught a L and watched the love evaporate. Saw homies who was active go out backwards and deactivate. I knew that they was actors when them actors started acting fake. Jealousy, capping, hating, all the above. Got me feeling cuz where is the love? Homies, you knew all your life will sneak up on you, fill your head with them slugs and leave you dead in the back of the club. Emilio, rest in peace. Wrestling with this life is a beast, and Lord knows there's nothing nice on these streets. Just niggas with poles, they heart is cold and they be dying to beef, and leave your mama sad crying with grief. His mama dropped enough tears to fill a coffee cup. Started to shout and passed out when his coffin shut. She going crazy cause her baby stuck. She prayed to God all her life and now she feel he never gave a fuck. His mama dropped enough tears to fill a coffee cup. Started to shout and passed out when his coffin shut. She going crazy cause her baby stuck. She prayed to God all her life and now she feel he never gave a fuck.